Sorry, folks. Sorry. Everybody, welcome back. Episode 61 of the Legends and Dragons podcast here at the Legends Lair here in Hurst, Texas. Philip Bullock.
Jimmy Klaus.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
What a week.
What crazy week, brother.
Man, we had
amazing promotions on Saturday.
We had, how many did we promote? You know the number?
No, we promoted a lot of students, but just that day for belts, I think it was like 10 or 11.
So just that day, but overall, because you guys were striping.
Oh, God. Yeah.
You had to do like for like the last 2 weeks. I mean,
oh, no, for the last month, all of June, we were striping up. Yeah, that's good.
Under a year, bro.
11 months next week, dude.
Man, oh man, we have no guests today because, well, we work and we didn't reach out to anybody.
No, I reached out to a few people that couldn't make it. Yeah, but hopefully we're gonna get Eric's already committed. Our police officer.
Let's go.
Eric Husky's coming on. Another buddy of mine, Nathan Coleman, who's a Kempoist. He's gonna come on. Look at that, and he's also a law enforcement officer as well too.
Does he do jiu-jitsu?
No, he doesn't, but he wants to. He's taken a little bit, and he loves it, and he knows he needs it. So
come on, man, that's the gap. Chance and I were talking about a gap in my martial arts.
Yeah.
The gap was, well, I will say two gaps. Weaponry.
Yeah.
We got Wilson.
Yeah.
We had Wilson
for guns. Yeah.
For guns.
And you got Chance and I for knives.
Yep, Chance and you for knives, and then of course the ground game.
Yeah.
Which
you got it. And I can teach sticks.
I love me some jiu-jitsu, bro. I love me. That's what Chance was saying too, and so anyway, yeah, man. So we got a bunch of people signed up for the Jiu-Jitsu World League in September.
Pretty awesome to see everybody rallying together.
Let's go, man. I'm excited about that. So one of the things, though, that we did not talk about on last podcast, I told Carly, we didn't even talk about the Liver King.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Bro, I don't know if you guys know who this Liver King guy is, but this Liver King guy, he came out a few years ago?
Yeah.
He was really popular on social media. The guy looked ripped. He tried to say that everything was natural. He was what was he doing?
So the guy's name was Brian Johnson, aka the Liver King, and this dude comes out and he's like, selling these supplements, and he's saying that he's jacked to the brim, just abs popping out, muscles on muscles, and he says that it's from the 9 ancestral tenets. Like, you ground every day and you wake up with the sun and bleach your butthole and you eat raw organs. And that's what he's saying, that he got that jacked and he lives with eating raw organs, which is absolute crap, by the way.
Don't do it, guys.
Yeah. We're not made to eat raw organs of other animals. I'll just tell you guys that right now. And it's disgusting. You ever had raw liver, dude? It's nasty. You don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
You don't want to eat a spleen out of a deer you just shot, brother. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to eat that. So anyway, the Liver King, and he was going on all these podcasts, and they were asking him, do you use steroids? He's like, no, I've never used steroids. I'm 100% clean. I don't like steroids. I built myself off the 9 ancestral tenets, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody leaked an email where he was spending $15,000 a month on steroid injections. 15 grand. On top of that,
come on,
it was revealed that his abs were implants, and they're fake.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That is.
I don't know if the ab thing is true, but I would believe it because the guy's lying about his steroids. So why would
pec implants as well?
No. I think those are real. But anyway, so he gets exposed, and he comes out and makes this apology video. Nobody gives a crap about it, so he kind of goes irrelevant. And then this idiot decides, hey, I'm going to make a documentary to clear my name. And so that's why he's back in them, because the documentary just got released 3 weeks ago. My mother-in-law watched it together. We laughed our butts off, dude. It's great.
How long was the documentary?
Like an hour and a half.
Okay.
But he tries to sit there and, say, why he lied and, all this stuff. It's just crazy. So anyway, that documentary came out and tanked him even more. Nobody's buying his supplements. He's lost a bunch of followers.
Yeah.
And so then a week and a half ago, this dude gets on Instagram, and I don't know if he's having a manic episode or mental health problems, but and I don't, I'm not joking about that at all. But he gets on Instagram and just starts going off and how he's gonna fight Joe Rogan and he's gonna kill Joe Rogan unless Joe Rogan gets him on his podcast. It's like, what are you gonna go on there and do? You know, you had the documentary, you failed. What are you gonna go on? You lied. You had millions of people who followed you, and you lied, dude. And that's why I cannot stand.
Yeah.
We have so many in today's world. We have so many influencers that don't influence shit. I hate to say that, pardon my language, but we have influencers that don't influence anybody, or if they do, they're lying. It's insane, and I don't like that, man. You gotta be real. You gotta be truthful with what you do. You know, yeah, man. If you take steroids, be honest about it. You know, I did it when I was 21. I'll be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my story is, and I'll be honest. I'll tell everybody is.
Yeah.
I was 21 and 22 years old. I was in Kempo.
Okay.
And this Hearst police officer, way back in the day, doesn't work for Hearst anymore, so I'm not going to get him in trouble. But he started working out at the Kempo school.
Okay.
And so he invited me to come work out with him and a couple of his officer buddies. And so I'd go and work out with them, like lifting weights. You know, they'd come train Kempo, I'd go lift weights. And then all of a sudden, you know, I put in just as much work as these guys.
Yeah.
And in 3 weeks, man, these guys are starting to lift way more than I am. They're getting bigger. And I'm like, what's going on again? Like, I'm putting in just as much work, and I'm not looking like this. Like, what's going on? And you know, he pulled me to the side, and he's like, hey, you know, this is what we're doing. And I was like, oh. Okay. He's like, you want some? I was like, yeah, okay. I'm 21, 22 years old. Somewhere
What was
around
that?
there.
What was
No, they were injections. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I remember it clear as day. I went back to my apartment, and the guy I was living with at the time, he was one of my good friends. I know you can't tell. I'm deathly afraid of needles. When the nurse comes in to take blood, I will almost faint. Like, I hate tattoos, but I love the work, but I hate needles, y'all.
Yeah.
Hate needles. So I was scared to death to shoot myself up. So I was in the mirror. I asked my roommate if he'd do the injection. He goes, I'm not shooting you up with steroids. Are you stupid?
Yeah.
And anyway, so I finally did it, and I did a 12-week cycle.
Okay.
I did two different steroids at that time. I did Winstraw and something else. I forgot what it was. This is back in 2001.
Okay. Yeah.
And man, I blew up to 238 pounds, like 10% body fat. I was huge, man. Yeah, huge. Anyway, steroids are expensive. Let's be honest. Okay. I couldn't afford them. So I only did one cycle, and not only that. With how big I got, it was making my Kempo slower. Kempo is a very fast, speed-hitting martial art. Yeah. And my movements were much slower. I couldn't, you know, get down like I used to. So I put them away. But however, I got the worst side effect that you could ever get out of steroids.
What was the side effect?
Gynecomastia. So that's when. So for any of you guys who don't know, most men will get it. When you take steroids, your testosterone shoots through the roof. Yeah. And what makes testosterone in your body? Your testosterone, your testicles. Yeah. Well, those stop working. So everybody says, "Oh, your package gets small." It's not your package; it's your boys. Yeah. Because they don't have anything to do. They're dormant, so they just go to sleep. So they will shrink in size. They come back, but they will shrink in size and go dormant because your body's just overloaded with testosterone. Well, when you get off steroids, you have to take an estrogen blocker. Otherwise, your body will combat the high testosterone with estrogen to equal itself out. Listen, God's no fool, okay? He made the human body in perfect sync harmony for it to heal itself. It knows when something's off to combat it. Yeah. And when your testosterone's high, even men, you know, they will have a little bit of estrogen, but it rises to combat the testosterone. And I even took estrogen blockers, but it wasn't enough. So I have breast tissue in my nipples, and it sucks, man. And I don't think I've taken my shirt off in a water park in like 25 years because I'm so embarrassed. And people say, well, why don't you get it cut out? Well, no. You know, I did this to myself. It was my damage. This is my cross to bear. Yeah. You know, this is my punishment. I should have never did that. I was a stupid 21-year-old kid. Yeah. I was stupid, but I won't get it cut out. This is just something I have to live with. Yeah. But That's wild. Yeah. So that's my story.
So back to influencers, though.
Yeah, do not take steroids. Don't do drugs. You don't need any of that. Sorry, Jimmy.
No, you're good.
And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but you don't need this to live life. You don't need alcohol. You don't need none of that stuff.
Well, speaking of that, though, I was going to get on the influence. I'll talk about that in a minute, though. But you're doing a juice cleanse right now, man.
Yeah.
So this is your first one in what,
13 years? Yeah. That's how I got on my health kick, was a juice cleanse. My wife and I You've seen the picture. I was
Yeah.
huge. I was big and fat. Because I was so happy. I got with Virginia, and she's gorgeous, and I got her. She's cooking for me. She's Latina, so I'm eating good, bro. And I got big. So anyway, I've had multiple problems. You know about my kidney stones, multiple kidney stones, and so anyway, decided to get healthy. I went to the doctor. I had high blood pressure. He tried to write me a prescription. And I'm just not a pill guy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I won't even take pain pills, after a surgery, unless it's absolute, like, I just have to tap out from the pain.
Right.
I won't do it, man.
Yeah.
I don't want that stuff in my body. And so I started researching, and, my wife and I watched this documentary called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Joe Cross is the guy's name. And he went from type 2 diabetic, like almost dying, like very obese and unhealthy, to juicing himself to a perfect health and perfect body in 6 months with nothing but fruit and vegetable juice. And so I did it 13 years ago, and it changed my life. It's tough.
Yeah.
But when I came on the other side of it, man, it was just like, wow, like, oh yeah, it detoxes the body and all that stuff. So after that, that's when I started eating really healthy. Like, I went on a whole food, plant-based diet after that. And I really started seeing good stuff. And my whole thing is, I don't want kidney stones, man. I've had quite a few,
Yeah.
And they suck and they hurt every time. Yeah. And mine are not all. If I do something, I do it big. So I don't get past. They get lodged. I've had an 18 millimeter size stone lodged in me. So I don't want to go through that anymore. And if eating the correct things for my body helps me, that's what I'm going to do.
Why 2 weeks?
Because it takes 14 days to detox the body.
Okay.
And so for 14 days, no processed food, no nothing, just clean fruit juice. And once your body's detoxed, then I don't know. I might go another 14 days. I might go on a raw food only for the next 14 days. I don't know. We'll see. That's the great thing. You never know with these journeys, Yeah.
Well, my journey so far, it has been pretty much cold turkey, no sugar.
That's good. No processed sugar.
Yeah, let me take it back. No processed. I love coffee. And so my trainer, Matt Crittenden, you can check him out. He was on the podcast many episodes ago. But he said, honey, and half an hour.
Yeah.
Because I found out that I didn't like coffee.
Yeah.
I love the creamer.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so I've been off that for months now.
Honey's amazing.
So I have plenty, and then there's like we're looking. Mary and I are looking because she found some juice bottles for the juice cleanse thing.
Yeah.
But then the Core 30 protein milk. But there's a little bit. I think there's a little bit of sugar in that.
Yeah.
And so I've been looking for your alternate. But I went to the chiropractor. And she said, Jimmy, I can tell because of inflammation, like my muscles, my joints.
Yep.
And I was like, very good, man, very good. So that's been my journey. I feel good. But it's amazing. Like yesterday, I got off work at 10:30, man. I was like, man, I can go for a milkshake right now. I was like, man, I can do my salad.
But you did.
I did. So I went home. I was like, I just gotta go. See, because my problem is, Miriam doesn't listen to the podcast. So y'all don't tell her, but sometimes I cheat on her.
Oh yeah,
I cheat on her with Brahms. I cheat on her. I cheat on her with like In-N-Out milkshake.
We all cheat, dude.
And then
it's tough.
I know, but she gets.
But being able to be disciplined, that's the key.
That is. So the discipline thing is, and we'll talk about that here in the podcast. Since I want to talk about some discipline, but yeah, man, it's been good though. And I can obviously I feel better. I feel better with the process sugar. Because, man, I love me some Reese cups.
I do too. See, that's what everybody thinks. I'm like, well, Philip, you eat healthy. Yeah, I do, but I cheat as well.
Yeah.
I had the girls over last weekend. They wanted McDonald's on Saturday. I'm not going to tell my nieces no. I love those girls with all my heart. Yeah. I took them to McDonald's. I know that I should not be feeding them that crap, but they're kids, that's what they want. And of course, I had a couple McDonald's fries. It is what it is. And like when we're out to eat, sure, we'll go to a Mexican restaurant. I'll try to eat healthy there, but I'm still eating junk.
Yeah.
I still eat out. When I'm eating pizza, that's still processed food.
Sure, yeah.
And it's hard. But
so we had to. So Crittenden has me on because I asked him like, hey, what about a cheat day? He goes, for you now. He goes, we have to listen.
Yep.
I said, okay.
Yep.
He goes, I would tell people yes,
Yep.
not you.
Yep.
And so we went to Jet's Pizza, which Jet's Pizza.
Jets is good. Ooh, Jets
But
is good.
Miriam found out that Jet's Pizza gives a cauliflower. Is it cauliflower?
Yeah.
Cauliflower crust.
Yeah.
And so she got
Yeah.
and it was good. I mean, I'll do different.
There are places that have, like good stuff. Like I went to Buffalo Wild Wings a few months back with some friends because I wanted to watch some game there. I'm not into sports, but I forgot what game it was. They were watching some game there. We were all hanging out. They had a cauliflower wing, and I was like, I don't even like cauliflower, but let me try it. Bro, it was so delicious. It was tossed in their marinade.
Yeah.
And I mean, in my mind, it was like I was eating chicken, dude.
The thing is, sometimes I'll cheat with soda.
Oh yeah.
And so I found it's called Waterloo. It's like carbonated.
Oh yeah. And then you put your flavor in there.
Well, yeah, I could, but they have the flavor, like you can get like strawberry.
Gotcha.
Whatever. And so I messaged my trainer like, hey man, what do you think about this? He goes, yeah. He goes, absolutely.
That's good.
And so I found out that I needed that carbonation because my brain was like, oh yeah, carbonation for the Dr. Pepper. Or whatever.
Dude, try Topo Chico. Get a sparkling wine.
Okay.
They're amazing. Topo Chico with lime. Oh my goodness.
Is that the flavor? Do I add the lime or is it
No, it's already in there. Just buy it at the store. Oh,
I'll go check it out, man.
either Topo Chico with lime, Richard's Rainwater, or 1887 Texas water. Any of those, they're amazing.
Yeah. So somebody asked me about the podcast, guys. Listen, I haven't come up with a list of topics.
Yeah.
Or like,
We don't need to. We have ADHD. We just shoot off the hip.
that's probably what makes it like,
What's the problem?
You're not lying at all. In fact, Miriam has been saying to me like these clips was like, you have AD, like these reels.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is you because of like shaking or whatever else. So like, it was something with that. To be an air traffic controller, you have to have a little bit of AD.
Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to do so many things at the same time. But the influence. Oh, somebody asked me about the podcast. Sorry, I was already going off back here. They're like, hey, what do you see the podcast? Same thing. Like I'm gonna tell you guys, like when Chance was on, listen, if this thing blows up, cool, because every week we're getting followers.
That's very true.
This is all organic. We're not in it for like the Joe Rogan money. However, if
that came,
however, hey, Spotify, come on, that came across. But listen, Joe Rogan, if you're watching, come on, man, you're down in Austin. You're just a couple hour drive. Love to have you.
That would be insane to have him on her podcast.
Dude, you know what? I want to reach out to Joe because what's the worst he can say?
No, we didn't answer us.
Come on, man.
Good dude.
But hey, man, watch out for these influencers. Though I have my daughter. She's 18 and. I constantly have to have conversation with her about social media, just how fake social media is. You hardly get someone as raw as Philip and I that we'll share our dirty laundry to help others. Like, I don't care. Like, listen, my wife and I have an argument. And there's some things obviously I'm not going to share, but listen, I still have arguments with my wife. I love her dearly. 20 years, going on 20 years of marriage. Kids, sometimes I have kids issues. Sometimes I have work issues. Sometimes, I might make a bad financial decision. And I have no problem sharing my story because my story has helped so others. So
absolutely.
Be careful of the fake. Yeah. Because it's so, people aren't going to, like, I was listening to this 30-year-old, she called into the Dave Ramsey show.
Oh,
and she was talking about, she's seeing all her friends with the new cars, going on the vacations, and doing all this stuff. And she was like, and she's making like $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
All she has left is her mortgage, and she paid cash for her master's degree. And she is right there.
Better off than a lot of people.
And that was winning right there. Yep. She sold the social media stuff.
Because she's comparing her life to theirs.
Golly, crazy. Talk about that, man. You see how many people compare.
Yeah, it's great to talk about ADHD, bro. We totally got off Liver King and didn't even come back to that. That's how bad our ADHD is. He just went on influence. I was like, we didn't finish on Liver King.
Yeah.
Anyway, that idiot threatened Joe Rogan and got arrested anyway. He's crazy. But so the thing to the point is, don't follow these idiots on social media. You have no idea what their life is like outside the camera. You know what I'm saying? And they make it seem this glam and about getting money. You have no idea. You have no idea. I tell people all the time, money will not solve all your problems. I personally know, this is what I love about being a jiu-jitsu instructor.
Yeah.
I see all walks of life.
Yeah.
I see everybody. I see people that can barely afford to pay their membership, who are begging to clean the mats to help pay their membership, to multi-millionaires who say, if you ever get in a bind, let me know. We have all these people on the mats. And over the years, I've been with, I know millionaires and I've known poor people. And even the millionaires will tell you straight up, money doesn't make you happy.
Correct.
Their cars, their houses, none of that makes them happy.
Yeah.
You have to be happy with your life, and your happiness is 100% your responsibility.
Boom.
Somebody asked me the other day, because they found out, when we started at the old place, I think I started there at 40 years old.
Yeah.
40 years old. And that was my full-time job, and I'm making $12,000 a year. $12,000 a year. And I'm like, oh my God, how did you put up with that? Bro, I'm living my dream job.
Yeah.
As long as the bills are paid, food's on the table, my wife's happy, who cares? I don't care. Money doesn't define me. Money doesn't make me. I came from a corporate background. You know what I'm saying? I've made good money before. I'll probably never make that money again, and that's fine with me. I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as the bills are paid and I'm doing what I love my job. I love my life. Every morning I get up, I'm thankful, I'm blessed to be alive, and I love what I do. Yeah. You couldn't offer me $1 billion cash to walk away from this life. You couldn't. Yeah. I'd turn you down.
Yep. And see, that's the thing right there is so many people would love to say what you said.
Yeah.
They would love to say, man, I love what I'm doing. I'm content in my life. It doesn't matter. Did you know how many people go out there just miserable?
But here's the thing, Jimmy. Every one of those people that wishes they had that life is 100% capable of making that life for themselves.
Yeah, because they're chasing something. See, I love my job.
Yes.
I love my job.
Yes, you do.
I love air traffic. I wanted to do this since I was 12 years old.
Right.
I was introduced to it from my my scoutmaster when I was working towards my Eagle Scout. He was a pilot in the Navy out there in Norfolk, Virginia.
Nice.
And so he took us on the tour. I was like, man, this is what I want to do. It looked like a big video game to me.
Right.
Join the Air Force, AT, man, I love it. However, I will tell you this, if you're listening, to be an air traffic controller, one, it is a young man's game.
Yeah.
And two, the schedule sucks.
Yeah.
At 12 years old, I didn't care about the schedule. I wanted to do it. And anyways, regardless of that. But I love my job. And a lot of people can't say that.
Yeah.
But they love their job.
Yeah. And that's sad.
I know it is.
Because you should. I feel everybody should.
So don't chase. Here's my advice. Don't chase the dollar, right? I'm like, at the end of the day, I tell the guys I work with, because we are forced to retire at age 56. We're eligible after 25 years in the service, 20 years. Anyway, there's a bunch of rules. So for me, I'm eligible at age 50. But some can retire as young as, say, 48, 49, however old they got in there if they did 25 years. So the guys at work, I have to continue to counsel them because, oh man, they think that because they walk out, the whole the whole system's going to break.
Right.
And I remind them that, yeah, you're important. Like, you're important to me. You're important to the team.
Yes.
Right here. However, if I died in a car accident on the way home, planes are still going to.
Yes, that's very true.
They're going to continue.
Life is going to continue.
They're going to.
True.
And so the thing for me that I tell people, and I remind them, like, listen, this job, sure, it provides for your family, and yes, it's a good job, but I'm not as important as I think I am. Like, if I die in a car, believe me, your small team, they'll miss you, but I promise you that the whole system is going to continue to go. Unless, of course, you're like, say, a business, and you have a small business and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, all that to say is, like, just look at your life, man, and just reevaluate it.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing that I want to talk about, too. We talk about jiu-jitsu. Like, I got promoted. I got promoted to blue belt.
Blue belt, Jimmy!
Let's go!
2 years of hard work. Proud of you, brother.
But the thing is this, and so I was thinking about this because I knew we were going to have this conversation. Like, discouragement, because you sent me that reel, and I was like, yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. About
discouragement being the big factor, especially after age of 40, like after you hit a certain age. For me, I'm like, why am I not discouraged on the jiu-jitsu nets? And I was reminding myself that I was discouraged on the mats, not the jiu-jitsu nets, on the taekwondo sparring, because I was sparring against kids half my 18 plus. They were faster. They were smoother. Their technique, they can get that question mark kick up, boom, all sorts of stuff, man. I was getting my tail handed to me. And so this was before my black belt test, and I was talking with Chance. I'm like, Chance, because he knows, man, we go through the gauntlet. We go the way that Valdez has it. He lines up like 8 fighters.
Right.
And, and then he just calls me, and I'm just getting my tail handed to me. And then I go 2-on-1, 1-on-1, 3-on-1. I mean, it's the whole thing until he's tired. Until he's tired.
Yeah.
Not me. And so I told Chance, I'm like, dude, I'm getting my tail handed to me. Now I was really licking my wounds. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for black belt. I don't know. He goes, Jimmy. He goes, how many? I don't remember how old I was. How many 40-plus-year-old guys on the mat doing that?
Yep.
I was like, and not a lot. I mean, I will say this though: fighting those kids that were a lot faster, had more technique, made me faster.
Yeah.
And so when I fought someone my own age, the fight slowed down.
Exactly.
Because these guys like
they can't keep up. Yeah.
So discouragement. Let's talk about that, man. I mean, you've been an instructor. You've been in martial arts probably twice as long as I have. Maybe close, probably 3 times as long. Because I'm coming up on, I think, 10, and you're
28 years.
So you're coming up on 30. So almost 3 times. What have you seen from the old guys? Now that we're kind of, I say,
yeah, we are the old guys, brother.
What have you seen them like quit? It's not the injury, right? Because you and I go out there and you're like, you had a busted up arm.
Oh yeah, I get
and
that. Yeah.
And you were working on your close guard and you're trying.
Yeah, I got bad knees, all that. Yeah, it's just here's what happens, you know. And this is with everybody's journey, and this is why they get discouraged, is because, as Professor Greg says, I love this analogy, you have so many gardens in your life, right? You have your family garden, you have your jiu-jitsu garden, you have your work garden, you have you have all these different gardens, okay? If you spend too much time watering one garden, the other gardens are going to start to wilt and fail. You have to make sure you can balance everything, and that's where it gets bad. People get into jiu-jitsu, and they start training, and they realize that they can do something that's hard. And so they train and train and train, and they get good. And maybe they start with somebody else in their training, then they do good. And maybe some sort of setback happens, death in the family, or they break something, they get injured or something, and now they're out for 2 weeks. Well, that person that started with them, or that was right next to them, coming up the ranks with, that person's still there getting better.
Yeah.
So now when this person gets back, they're going to try to think that they're up here when they're not. And that's the discouragement. Now they're thinking, am I good enough? Am I not good enough? Why am I doing this? I used to be able to tap this guy. Now he's tapping me. And you can't worry about that. The whole journey is personal.
Yeah.
No matter what, till you get the black belt, you're going to tap 10,000 times, man.
Yeah.
It's not just because you get the black belt, it's not the end all be all. Professor Craig smokes me every single time we roll. There are black belts in DFW that will smoke me every single time we roll. That's not the point. Who cares? They're great jiu-jitsu artists. I love jiu-jitsu. Am I great? No, but I love what I do, and I love being on the mat. So I train for me.
Do you get discouraged when
No. But now when I'm coming up the ranks, every belt I wanted to quit.
Really?
Every single belt except white belt I wanted to quit.
Why?
Because it's hard. Jiu-jitsu's hard, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there was something other.
No, just you question yourself. When you see the like I said, when you see the person that you started with get ranked up. It took me 6 years to get the purple belt. My mom passed away in the beginning of my journey. I had to move down to Houston. Had to get with a new school there, and then come back up here. And just moving around. So it took me 6 years to get the purple belt, and then things happen, life happens. I got my purple belt. I was gung ho. I was like, all right, I'm in this, and I started training. That Virginia and I started getting real serious, and I still kept training, but I got out of shape, And let's be honest, when you put on 60 pounds, you're not ready for a brown belt, If you put on 60 pounds training jiu-jitsu, something's wrong. Jiu-jitsu should make you lose weight.
Right.
And if you're putting weight on, something's wrong or an area in your life. And so at that time, my garden, I wasn't watering jiu-jitsu as much as I should have, and I should have been. I should have been more cautious with my health and my weight. And so I lost the weight. I got very serious. I got my brown belt, and I was gung-ho, man. I worked my tail off to get my black.
Okay.
Obviously, that wasn't going to happen, but I bet Greg, he made it happen. And then once you get black, brother, the journey starts off. I think that the journey just begins at black.
Yeah,
I've learned more at black belt in the last 6 years than I have in the past, 19 in jiu-jitsu. And I look forward every day. I look forward to being on the mats.
I wonder why that is. Like, after I got my black belt in the stand-up game, you're right. I learned before as a black belt, they're just coming up the ranks. And I don't know if it was...
Because you don't have to worry about belts anymore.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's not in your mind. And I tell people this all the time, don't focus on the belts.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard when that's the pinnacle of your hard work is that stripe or that belt. So you're working towards that recognition because everybody wants to get recognized.
Sure.
Everybody wants recognition.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it feels
no,
good.
I say this all the time. Nobody in the world would be cool to go into Harvard for 10 years and then walk away and say, hey, you don't need your master's degree. You did fine.
Yeah.
No, you're going to be like, give me my degree. I earned that.
Yeah.
So you want that belt that you earned, you know? Just don't get caught up in it.
So I think, see, my mindset, because somebody, and guys, you guys really do make me feel good when you tell me that I inspire you, because you guys inspire me. And you guys push me. And the thing for me is, even if I didn't get promoted on Saturday, I don't know if I would have felt bad.
Yeah.
Because my identity is not
Right.
my belt.
And that's good.
My identity is, listen, I have you guys' back. You guys need something, I'll be there. I'm going to continue to encourage people, my integrity, my character, my friendships, my family. That's where everything, for me, that's where it lies, right? You can take off, like, Greg can take my belt, go, hey, you know, we're going to go back to white belt, be like, okay. Because that's not going to stop me from continuing to get on the mats and try my best.
Heck, I'd love it if somebody put a white belt on me. I'd have no expectations, whipping everybody, man. It would be amazing.
Just start sandbagging it and start smoking it. But all that to say is that that doesn't define me. Yes, it's good to have that recognition on the jiu-jitsu mats. Like you guys, I'm telling you how you guys have pushed me. I had to find a personal trainer to go, hey man, I have to get an advantage somehow. I need to pack on some more muscle. Like help me with my cardio was good, but now my cardio's bad.
Yes, much better.
Dude, I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. Sure, I have
You look good too, brother.
And I appreciate that. But I have some other underlying health conditions. But we all struggle with something. But that's how you guys have pushed me. But my encouragement to those 40 and plus is don't make excuses if you get hurt. What I mean is there's a difference between being broken.
Yes, injured and hurt.
Right.
Yes.
And like if you're broken, you're broken. Right. You take the time off.
Yes.
But if you're injured, man, I'm caught my elbows constantly hurt.
Yep.
My hips, my back constantly hurt. But there is something that I can still get out of gold class, even if you give it just 50%. If 50% that day is your 100% that day,
absolutely.
Get on the mats and work. I mean, go ahead, man.
Sorry, I got a guy in my 6 a.m. class, Jake Thomas. It's a perfect example right here. He just had hernia surgery, and he's on the mats. He can't train, but every morning he's there at 6 a.m. sitting down in his hoodie, cross-legged, watching my instruction.
Yeah.
Just taking notes. He can't train, but he's there at class. He wakes up at 4:30 so he can get to class, and he can't even train. That's dedication.
That's what I'm talking about. See, there's always something you can do, and that translates now into your other gardens.
Yes.
As Phillip said.
Yes.
The family garden.
Yes.
See, I have a routine, and so I want you guys to have a routine. My routine: every morning I wake up. Every morning I'm into the Bible. Every day I do that, and that's the first thing I do. Before I check my phone, before I do anything, I need that time to just get my day going. And if I miss a day, I mean, I feel it, believe me. But then I get that, then I start, I have the breakfast, I can eat the same thing every morning. And then every day I spend an hour in the gym.
Good.
Every day. I mean, for Crittenden workout. He has an app. I encourage you guys. I don't work out with him. He sends me exercises on the app that I do and stretches and everything else. So an hour a day. And then I try to spend as much as I can without work getting in the way. I try to spend at least an hour and a half to 2 hours on the mats.
That's good.
Unless we're at 6 a.m.
Yes.
Spend an hour
That's good.
on the mats. But see, I encourage you, once you get into that routine, and I'm telling you now, and I don't know if my daughter listens to our podcast, but you are who you surround yourself with.
That's right. But you water your gardens, and that's good. You take care. Here's the problem, and this is where I've seen jiu-jitsu divorce thousands of people. In my 19 years, I have seen jiu-jitsu wreck so many relationships.
Really?
Yeah. Because the significant other gets jealous.
Really?
Yep. And that's why I say you've got to water your garden. You've got to be able to spend time with the spouse and also spend time with jiu-jitsu, because for most part, it's mostly men that train jiu-jitsu. So the wife is at home, sitting at home, and I mean, come on. Nobody goes to jiu-jitsu for an hour. They stay for an hour and a half, sometimes 2. If they stay the whole training, maybe 2.5 hours. They stay and talk with their buddies. Now it's 3 hours. They're getting home.
Yeah.
The wife's at home with the kids or by herself.
Yeah.
And she's upset. Somehow in her mind, she thinks that you love jiu-jitsu more than her.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. And ladies, hopefully you'll understand that man needs jiu-jitsu to help with his mental state, to help be a better father and a better husband. Now, I'm not saying your man should be in jiu-jitsu 7 days a week and neglecting the kids. You have to water your gardens. You have to pick and choose your gardens and how to water them to make sure they all grow. And that's exactly
that's true, because Miriam and I have we've had some of those conversations. Now, I've been in martial arts now for, like I said, going on 9-10 years.
Yeah.
And I need to figure that math out. But we've had those conversations because she brought that up and like, whoa, okay, you know what? Guess what I'm missing today, guys? I'm missing a class today.
Yep.
But she's
Absolutely.
me. Because at the end of the day, when I'm on my deathbed, sure, I have my buds around, but I have my wife by my side.
That's right.
And so that's the thing, is like, I don't understand. Like, I've been having this conversation with guys at work because air traffic controllers, sure, there's the suicide. People are like, oh, is that stressful? I heard the suicide rate is high. Unfortunately, there are suicides in air traffic, but there's also alcoholism.
Right,
there's
sure.
Also, divorce rates. All this stuff. And I've had to talk. I've just talked to Mary because there was a couple that we know that got divorced, and I said, why in the world would I invest 20 years of my life with you for when the kids grow up? I'm like, nah, I don't want you. I said, that's when the party started.
Yep.
I was like, goodbye, kids. Like, get out of my house.
That's right.
Let's go.
That's right.
And so, I mean, Philip's right. If you're not paying attention to your relationship at home,
Yep. It's gonna suffer.
You gotta reevaluate. Dude, guys, listen, I love the mats. I do. I mean, Greg knows that if I could be on the mats constantly, I would. However, that means I'm neglecting something.
Yeah.
Neglecting my kids. Listen, Talon had a basketball game right after promotions.
Yep.
I failed. And you know what? Because me being there for him and his basketball game, that's what I want my kids to see me. I want them to see me fail. I want them to see me struggle to get back up from the mats. I want them to see me sacrifice to be at their games. You guys can do it.
I will have to brag on my wife real quick because she's amazing.
Yeah.
In the 13 years we've been together, she has never once, not one time, ever asked me to skip a class, to hang out with her, to go to a dinner, to go to a family function, nothing. When she got with me, she knew that this was my life. She knew that it was my passion, and she's never, ever, ever asked me. Now, that doesn't mean I haven't taken a night off to go to our anniversary, but she's never asked me. I've done it all on my own.
But she knows you'll do it too.
Oh, yeah.
She knows that, like, hey, you know what?
She knows I would agree. Yeah.
And she knows too, because that's how you guys met as well.
Yes.
Because you were doing martial arts. And so she knew the world you're going into. But, for me, talking about, look at my ADHD circling back around to kidney stones. We're going back to kidney stones. Oh, look, it's wrong. I know, that's exactly right, man. Yeah, and look, we're a mess.
Yeah, it's all good, man. But you guys are watching us, so what does that say about y'all?
That's true. You guys are a mess too.
We love you guys. Thank y'all. If it weren't for y'all, we wouldn't have this. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. But my kidney stone got stuck.
Yeah.
And I needed to go through surgery.
Yep.
And man, the story is funny because about 2:00 in the morning, man, I'm laying in bed. And I'm like, oh, like I felt like I had to use the bathroom. And I was like, I'm not going to disturb Mary and to go into our bathroom. So I went to the kids' bathroom and I'm like, sat on the toilet. I'm like, nothing's happening. And dude, it was, and I had no idea. I was like, what?
It was like a knife.
Yeah, but I had no idea what was going on. So I finally, I make it back to the bedroom. And as soon as I cross that threshold to our door, dude, I landed all four. I'm on my hands and knees. And I tell Miriam, I'm like, hey, man, I'm dying. And she's like, she's all groggy. My wife is mean. She is mean as a snake. If you try to wake her up, man. Yeah. And so I'm like, babe, I think I need to go to the emergency room. And she was like, shut shut up and get back to bed. and so I was like, no, babe. And so I know this about my wife, but so I'm like, no, babe, I think I need to go to the emergency room. And then when she starts coming, she's like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? I was like, I think I need to drive. I said, because the kids were sleeping.
Yeah, you can't drive yourself,
Tom
bro.
was, 36? Journey was 8, 9 years old or whatever. That major. Hey, man, come make an appearance. So she was like 8 or 9.
You can't drive with a stone coming out, bro.
Hey, guys.
I've tried.
Yeah.
Hey,
Look at this guy. So maybe we're telling my kidney stones.
And then my kidney stone story after that.
I don't have a kidney stone story.
You should join the party, John. Never.
Yeah, come on, man. Look at it. Be like us. Anyway, so don't forget to talk to me before y'all leave. Okay. So I'm like, I don't know what to do, right? So I'm not waking up the kids like 2 something in the morning.
Yeah.
So I tell Miriam, I'm like, hey, I want to drive myself.
Ah, dude.
She goes, you're not driving yourself. I'm like, babe, you can't drive and we can't leave the kids.
Yeah.
So I was like 36. I'm 36 years old. This happened. So 10 years ago, Journey was 8. Kevin was, I don't remember how old he was.
You're doing this?
Matt is hard. Yeah. And so I called my best bud Atticus. So I call Atticus. I'm like, Atticus, can I do it? You know, he's a light sleeper.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I called. So he picks me up, takes me to the emergency room. Well, here off Highway 26, right down that little Baylor.
Yeah.
So I'm there, and they're checking it, man. And they're like, yeah, it's a kidney stone, and they're like, it will pass.
Did you puke from the pain?
So I didn't puke from but I felt like it. And so they send me home, and they were like, well, you have to dislodge it. So what do, man? I run 2 miles
Yeah.
to try to
Helps. Yeah, it'll help.
So, man, I'm like stomping, I'm trying
Yeah.
to do whatever. And well, it gets stuck. And so the doctor, I go back for follow-ups. It's like, okay, well, we have to do the surgery. So do the surgery. That sucked because then I had a stent. That sucked.
Yeah.
And so,
Jimmy, tell the audience how they do surgery, sir. There's 3 ways to break up a kidney stone. I'm an expert.
yeah, well, for me, they use that, was it the radius, because it was stuck somewhere.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Yes.
So he
yes.
got lithotripsy.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's a laser that goes in and breaks the stone up. This is one lucky bastard.
Yes.
Then there's sauna waves where they put I forgot what it was, like the water
Okay.
sonic blast in or something like that, and they try to blast the stone. That hasn't been done in 20 years. And then the good old fashioned way, which is how they get me, they go fishing. Yeah. Right up the pipe to grab it, man. And it is the worst thing ever.
Oh man. And so, but thankfully, so I will say this about my kidney stone though. Thankfully I had it.
Yeah.
Because it was because of that
Yes.
kidney stone.
Yes.
They found the mass of my kidney for kidney cancer.
Yep.
And man, and that messed up my brain for like probably, I would say 6 months maybe.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking if I didn't have that kidney stone,
Yeah.
then I would still have like it. There's no way to detect kidney cancer.
Nope.
They find it other like
Yeah, it's already spread.
And so thank God they just took a piece of my kidney out, and I'm kind of happy.
Good.
But anyways, all that to say, guys, it's kidney stones suck.
So my wife is not like that. She is different. When I woke my wife up with the
Yeah.
she's like, let's get you in the emergency room. I'm like, no, I'm good. I've been here before. It'll pass.
Yeah.
And so she'll call. I remember this one time I had I think it was like a 13 or 14 millimeter stone, and I didn't know at the time. It just broke off, so it was hurt like crazy. And there's so many things you can do to help dull the pain. You can get a scalding hot bath, which is what I'll do. I have a big bathtub, and I'll sit in the bathtub, and it relieves the pain. And because I try not to go in, I don't want to go to the ER. I don't want to, that's the last place I want to go.
Right.
And so my wife, I get the kidney stone at 2 a.m. My wife's like, oh, let's go. I'm like, no. And she's like, no, baby, please, let's go. So she calls the ER from the other room. I'm making a bath. She calls the ER. She's like, my husband's having a kidney stone. We're going to be up there in 5 minutes. They're like, all right. 10 hours later, I'm still at the house, right? I'm just trying to, I'm biting myself, just trying to get through the pain, because I don't know how big it is in time. I'm thinking I might be able to pass it. I'm an expert. I've had a few kidney stones.
Yeah.
And anyway, that doesn't happen. We finally end up going to the ER, and we get in the room, and the dude, I didn't have a sleeve at the time, or not this sleeve at the time, and I had these bite marks on me. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, everything okay? And I said, yeah. I go in here for a kidney stone. And he goes, you called the hospital at 2 a.m. I go, no, my wife called at 2. He goes, it's 12 hours later. Why would you try to withstand that pain? I was like, I didn't want to come in. He goes, you're crazy. And then he goes, ma'am, can I have you step out of the room, please? And so he asked Virginia to step out, and he closed the curtain. And he goes, all right. He goes, we're in a safe room now. He goes, you can tell me what's going on. I go, what? Because I had bruises on my arm from the jiu-jitsu and bite marks. He thinks my wife's beating the snot out of me at home. He's like, this is a safe place. I'm like, no, nothing's happening. He's like, why do you have bite marks? I'm like, trying to dull the pain, bro. I got a kidney stone. It hurts. He goes, just come into the ER next time. So he was trying to see if Virginia was beating me so he could report it. Yeah, I didn't know that kind of stuff was, had going on around. I didn't know that stuff they have to report that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I didn't know that,
When
man.
was it? Somebody, I don't remember which, they asked either Journey, because she was going through a procedure, or was it Miriam? I forget. Or maybe it was me. I don't remember now.
Yeah.
But they asked the question, like, do you feel safe at home? No.
Yeah.
I looked at my wife, like, no.
Yeah.
And, of course, they were laughing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we have to ask. I guess it's something to question.
She was serious. He made Virginia get up and leave the ring. And I had bit myself 3 times. Bro, you know how bad it is? Yeah, if you've never had a kidney stone, you don't understand. My sister and a couple of females I know, but my sister's had a kidney stone and birthed 2 kids, and she said the kidney stone was more painful than both childbirths. So I'm not taking anything away from women. I'm just saying that has been told to me.
Yeah.
But listen, men, we're men anyway. When we get the flu, we're going. Yeah. When we get a cold, we're pansies anyway. So don't listen to me. But kidney stones do hurt.
Yeah.
And so when I hit my arm and he saw the arm, he was like, man, this guy's wife's beating this crap out of me. When Virginia has a bruise, when she came back in, she was laughing. Oh, she laughed so hard. She's like, see, that's why you don't mess with Latinas.
Yeah, man. That's exactly right.
Straight up.
Dude, man, so Wilson, though, did you roll Wilson yesterday?
No, I did, bro. I had no energy to roll last night.
Oh, short.
I gotta pick and choose my battles, man, while I'm detoxing right now, where my energy goes. I rolled 4 7-minute rounds this morning.
Okay.
And I was taxed after that, bro.
Do you want rounds tomorrow?
I'll probably do no rounds tonight, maybe, depending on how I feel. Depends on how I feel. If I feel okay, I'll do a couple rounds tonight. If not, definitely I'll do 8 7-minute. I'm going to try to do 8 7-minute rounds tomorrow morning, and then another 8 7-minute rounds on Friday morning. We'll just see. But, bro, trending 2 times a day doing this, it's almost impossible.
I'm surprised you're not taking any supplements or anything.
Yeah, don't need to.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
Because for me, like I said, I'm on like a whole slew of vitamin D.
Yeah. No, I want I want to detox all that crap out of the body. My vitamin D. I'm going in the sun every day.
Yeah.
You know,
that's good. So, but when I saw that Wilson had joined me, I was like, oh.
I'm so excited. I love Wilson. Yeah. Our guest from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Finally joined Renzo Gracie.
Yeah, man. Good. It's really good.
Love Wilson, man. He's a great guy.
So then of course, man, dude, I'm so happy to see the school just continue to grow.
It's insane. We had 55 people on the mats on Monday night at 6 p.m.
I know, man.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
We've only been open almost 11 months, so 10 and a half months. So, but listen, it's a blessing, and it's not to say, hey, when just listen.
No, dude, is
Greg bust his butt.
Yeah.
I bust my butt for the kids program.
Yeah.
Everybody else, Journey, all the kids coaches, everybody puts in their work. It's a combined effort. And listen,
Cody over there.
And Cody's doing a fantastic job in Muay Thai. But listen, it's a testament. Greg opened up Mid-Cities 6 years ago and built that into a powerhouse. And look, he's doing it again with Renzo.
Yeah.
So
I like to go back because I sent you this morning a memory from the socials.
Yes.
From a year ago.
Yes. We were here.
We were. Yeah.
Red Bear. That's right.
6 a.m. But just the journey of where we were in just a year.
Oh, bro.
Because I was talking with Journey and Talon. Yeah. I was talking with Journey and Talon about friends because the conversation these days, at least in my house, at least the last week or so, has just been about friendships and
yes.
Not everyone is a friend.
That's right.
And, and just coworkers or coworkers. Maybe they'll turn into a friend. You have to understand that relationship first and build it up. I was telling Journey, I was like, listen, I said, Philip and I said, we're good friends, but it built to that.
Yes.
I said, it didn't start off day one.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We had to go through some crap together.
Yes.
And even just that crap, I mean, I still remember just a year ago, probably a little over a year ago, just some of the conversations we were having after you guys had left. And it was tough on you.
Yeah. Oh man, it was
hard. It was tough. And so, and I know that, I mean, you talked about jiu-jitsu, especially for guys and mental health, is that even though I saw you, in that, going downhill a little bit,
everybody saw it.
I know we walked alongside you, like, listen, man.
Yeah.
To see that to where we are.
Yeah.
And think about next year.
It's amazing. It's amazing, man. Yeah. We. But you know what? That's a. Like I said, it's a testament to Greg and his faith in God and everything that's happened since. I mean, you got to think, man. We were a powerhouse jiu-jitsu team, and it all came to a halt. Because one day it came to a stop. And I'm not going to get into specifics, but the way that it was happening is one of the most shadiest things I've ever seen in the martial arts. Ever, ever, ever. I just lost so much respect for a lot of people that I had respect for. Just because how dirty they were during the whole situation. Just nasty. And to go from that to literally getting not shunned out, but having nowhere to go. To building Renzo in this amazing community. Right. When we promoted Christina on Saturday, I'm going to brag a minute, Christina Simon. She got up and she started crying, and I felt every tear that she cried because I understand. I know what it's like, and it wasn't just tears of happiness, but tears of just how much she loved being at our academy, because you heard it herself. She felt like she was home there. She comes to jiu-jitsu to escape all the crap in the world, and she feels like it's home. And Mo and Karen. Mo was going to take a job in a completely different city. He was going to go and take a job in the reason he stayed in DFW and got a job at South Lake was because of Renzo. And I love that we've built that kind of community. It should be a family community at the jiu-jitsu gym. And I get it. You're going to have your hardcore competition gyms and MMA gyms with just a bunch of guys. But, I mean, we had 17 women on the mat Monday night. I will tell you, you want to find a good family gym, look at their kids program, look at their women's program. If those programs are big, you're at the right place. We have both of those at Renzo.
Well, Journey decided not to go off to college, like let's say Texas Tech or A&M, or because of him. She was like, you know what? Now I want to go to TCC, which is a community college. Go to TCC, and I still want to train. I was like, hey, that's the line.
And seeing this and changing people's life, this means more to me than any black belt, any degree, any amount of money. That's why when you said earlier, you were working for $12,000. Yeah, I don't care. Because this is the reward. Christina crying, receiving a purple belt and crying, that means more to me than any dollar amount you could throw in my face.
Absolutely.
Mo and Karen getting ranked up together as husband and wife means more to me than any dollar amount you can throw my way. This is the kind of relationships that Greg has built, and it's so amazing to see. We have something so special at Renzo. And I say this because I've been to so many gyms. I've been in martial arts for 28 years. I've heard the horror stories of people going to other gyms, and it's just, man, we truly have something special.
It's absolutely.
And I will die on that sword to keep it that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love our house.
I know you will.
Don't come mess our house up. Like, that's what I love. Greg's not going to allow any of that. You come in and you try to spit that drama, or you come from another jiu-jitsu gym and you're talking trash about that academy, you're getting out of our door immediately. We don't want to hear it. We don't care about it. Bye. We are here to make people better and help each other and achieve goals, and that's it.
I see, that's the bit. And for me, and I can say this now. I'll be 46 this year. The relationships are something I joke that I love people, but man, I hate people.
Yeah.
Chance and I talked about this on the podcast before. It's like, I love people. I love the relationship with people, but sometimes people, man, I can't stand y'all. Maybe it's just the crowds and the weight. I don't know, and maybe, but the relationships, like being for all those 46 it's important to me. When I come onto the mats to train, I like the relationships that I have fostered there. and I know who I can. Not that I'm ever not going to roll with somebody, but we have that relationship, that intimacy, if you will, of fighting somebody, just like we talked about before on the podcast. The intimacy, of course, there's love intimacy. I love my wife, but then there's intimacy. Like you see fighters, like you look at the UFC, unless they have, like after they beat each other up, what do they do?
They're hugging each other up. Yeah,
they hug each other. They're doing that. And so for me, the relationship. I mean, the belt. Listen, I'm not going to lie. Getting blue belt is cool. Getting purple belt's going to be cool. Getting brown belt, cool. Then getting black belt going to be cool. But man, that's right. But the relationships and watching people, watching the Christinas, watching the kid who was shy, getting onto the mats, and now he is just
confident, not getting bullied. Oh man, it's watching the kids grow is my favorite.
Yeah.
Because I strive for them to be better people than I was.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%.
And I strive for them to be better humans on and off the mat. So when they come to me with straight A's and their parents say, hey, so-and-so's been doing this chore and this chore, and they've been doing it for 6 weeks. And that makes me feel so good that I've had a positive influence in that child's life.
Yeah.
Because life is hard, man.
Yeah.
I was bullied as a kid. I didn't fit in, man. I was a nerd growing up. I didn't fit in. And I wish, somebody had come down and sat down and talked to me at the lunch table when I was by myself and made a friend.
Yeah.
And to see that I can instill these qualities in these kids, and that they want to do right, they want to say yes ma'am and yes sir to their parents, and they want to do chores, and they want to get straight A's so they can get that gold stripe. That means, listen, when I die, do not come to my funeral and be sad.
Yeah.
Shed a few tears, fine, whatever. Do not be sad. You understand that I lived a very fulfilled life. I am very blessed with what I did. And if I died right now on this podcast, I wouldn't have asked for anything else.
Would that be our greatest episode, you think?
It could be.
It's like,
oh my goodness.
You or I died right now. Hey, what do you think, Chance?
We might have
If
copyright.
we died right
I
now.
have a defibrillator in there.
That's what's up. Let's go.
If you laid on
I
the
know
podcast,
CPR. You're not dying on my watch.
not on this, man. But listen, if I had jiu-jitsu when I was a kid, though,
Dude.
Oh, bro.
listen, man, because just like Philip said, I mean, Chance has said it too, with some of the stuff growing up when we were growing up, if I had that, I wouldn't have had a gun in my mouth, ready to end my life.
The ability to fight martial arts taught properly,
Yes.
instills you with the ability to be peaceful.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I don't fight people.
No.
right.
But you can. if
But
you
I
need to.
can't.
Yes.
But that's why I don't.
Yes.
Right.
Very
See,
true.
that's the thing I was thinking about too. Like, if I go back, let's say Doc, brings that DeLorean, like, hey man, we're going back to the future. And I go back and I'm like, man, with the skills that I know now, would I fight? Probably not. I mean, I wouldn't get picked on.
But at 12, let's say we did the Doc Brown thing, 12 years old, I get jiu-jitsu. I got jumped when I was 13 years old and my jaw wired shut.
Oof.
And I know that if I had jiu-jitsu, that would have never happened.
Yeah.
That would have
absolutely.
never happened.
Yeah.
And once I messed that dude up, the entire rest of the school would have been like, okay, don't mess with that guy.
Yeah.
Because when you see somebody
Right.
control another human being against their will and choke them unconscious or snap their arm, you're like, that's a bad dude.
Well, see, that's what happened with my son, Talon, a few years ago. Because Talon, I'm telling you right now, man, my son, and I will brag, I mean, his stand-up game is pretty phenomenal. And so we didn't know. I mean, we're working.
Is it as good as like 8 Valdez's?
My son is a clown too. But he took the big kid down.
Nice.
The big kid down, or because he was getting picked on.
Yep.
And now they're like, man, don't mess with Talon.
Yep.
And
it's going around school, though. That's what Talon
That's
does.
what Talon-
And now he has this reputation.
But man, I was thinking about this too, as we're wrapping up here. I've talked about growing up and the abuse and stuff, but I think martial arts. If I had what a lot of these kids at Renzo has, or even here at Legends, or even there at Excel, just a good, loving environment that will raise them up. Look, man, I was abused by my alcoholic dad. And I was telling Miriam this week, I said, I remember praying that my dad would die.
Wow.
I remember that. I remember going to bed, just crying, just hearing my parents just yell and argue, and me just yell from, shut up at me, dude. And my dad and his buds, would think it's funny by putting out their cigarettes on me, just all sorts of stuff. And so I had every intention. I had a gun to my head and a gun to my mouth, ready at age 17, ready to go. But if I had a loving environment that he's matched for me, and not just over at Renzo, but here at Legends Martial Arts, over at Excel, because I've surrounded myself with some pretty great people. I couldn't imagine.
And that's why I try to build these kids up. And I've told you this before.
Yeah.
Because sometimes these kids, the only love they're getting is when they're on the mat.
Yep.
Some of these kids go home and they're getting cigarettes put out.
Yep.
Well, not obviously. If I saw that, I'd
Sure,
get
yeah,
involved.
yeah.
But we don't know. You know,
Well, we don't
we
know.
don't know if they're getting yelled at and talked down to,
Right.
screamed down and getting their cigarettes put out. We don't know that. So that's why we try to build them up.
Yeah, man. Guys, listen, go check out a good school. Listen, we love you guys. Hope you guys enjoy our ADHD.
Yeah.
Chance, he has ADHD too.
Yeah.
So
Oh, counts.
yeah, exactly. But listen, go like, subscribe. We're going to have some awesome guests on the podcast. Love you guys. Until next time.